listening to, you are absolutely listening to the George Espinlov Show, coming to you live from the Funny Farm. Now, with no further ado, here comes Georgie!
Thank you. All righty then. Wow, that's quite a greeting for Wednesday night, but then I shouldn't expect anything less, because you folks do this every single night, and on Friday night you really get loud. Ladies and gentlemen, to all of our friends down the street, around the corner, across this great nation, and around the world, I want to welcome you to the George Espinlov Show that comes to you live Monday through Friday at this time, right here on Spreaker.com. We're broadcasting live in a place called Our World. We have no idea. Don't have any idea where that is. We're just happy to be able to live here in our world, and it's much safer here than it is in yours. We are broadcasting from the Funny Farm radio studio right here amongst our friends, and they come far and wide. We want you to become a full-fledged loon, and you do that just by coming into the show. That's all you have to do. You don't buy anything. You don't sign up for anything. You just show up. Welcome to the family. We have a guest tonight. So this is going to be one of those sit on the edge of your seat type shows. So you might as well scrooch up right now. Get up on the edge and perk up your ears, and while you're doing all that, while you're scrooching up and perking up your ears, call a friend, a family member, email them real quick, whatever you have to do to communicate with somebody or somebodies, and tell them to tune in to Spreaker.com. The George Espinlov Show is airing live right now, and we're about ready to announce our guest, who is Billy Allmon, Allmon, a retired Navy SEAL. So we have Billy Allmon, retired Navy SEAL, on deck with us tonight. And tell everybody, now, get scrooched up there real good, and we're going to bring Billy on to the show as soon as Charlie hits the right button. Billy, welcome to the George Espinlov Show.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here today.
And thank you for your service, sir, and I salute you.
I thank you for yours.
You have written a book. Number one, I shared with you before we went on the air. I've never read anything like that. Although I know it goes on and I know it happens. Nor have I ever read one with such a title. When the bullet, When the bullet hits your funny bone?
That's correct. When the bullet hits your funny bone, the essence of a U.S. Navy SEAL.
That's a cool title. How did you ever come up with that?
Well, the book is based on true events, and my publisher, Twilight Times Books, she said that you can't just print the humor because people will really think you're crazy and you've lost your mind. You have to equate it with actual events where you actually use the humor so that people don't think you're crazy. And the book is based on using humor as a safety release valve, so that you don't go over the deep end after all the tragedies that you see, in combat and things that you do, and, of course, the life that you live, being out there at the tip of the spear all the time, and going into the bad guys' territories, taking out bad guys, capturing bad guys, and everything else that goes along with that. So using that humor, I was always thinking it's in combat, so when the bullet hits your funny bone, because you're going to be laughing about a lot of this stuff, and of course it is dark humor, it's gallows humor, if you will, but it's along the lines of what most anybody that served in the military can identify with, especially police officers, paramedics, first responders, doctors that work in the ER, same with nurses, firefighters. They can all identify with this as well.
And I think you said it, but people need to understand that for people that sees these things, involved in these things, and it happens to them, this is the only way that I ever knew of to keep your sanity, what little bit of sanity you have anyhow.
Very true. You got to have some type of release mechanism for this, all the tragedies that you're living through and all the horrific sights that you're seeing. So if you don't make light of it, and people that are outside are going to look at you and think that you're pretty cold or you're pretty crass, but in reality, you're just saving yourself. Otherwise, you're going to be the one ending up in a mental institution. All the stuff that you've seen and all the stuff that you've done if you don't learn to laugh.
And they don't understand that down deep inside those demons are always walking, always punching, always trying to come to the surface. And this is one mechanism that and I don't know why, but sometimes, not always, but it keeps them boogers down inside where they're supposed to be.
No, absolutely. Those are very true words, yeah. You definitely take that with you for the rest of your life, all the things that you've done, and you question what you were doing was actually right or not. You're right, absolutely.
You had the privilege of serving in all different parts of the world. And for those men and women, boys and girls that are listening, tell us what it's like to serve in different places of the world.
It is an honor to serve your country, and you do travel a lot. You do see a lot of things. You study the cultures of the countries you're going to be going to, and learn those ways of those people so that you don't offend them. Because it's not just the bad guys that you're going there to get. You're also going to have an influence on the people that you're trying to help. So you want to understand their culture, you want to understand their way of life, and you want to respect their way of life. So you always go and you do in-depth studies and research into those things, and so that you're not offensive to the people that you're trying to help out, and project yourself in a positive light to them, so that you're not an ugly American coming in doing a dirty deed. They actually trust you. They see how you are, and you're respectful of their way of life, so in their culture. So you do those things as well. And it is quite an honor. It's quite an experience, and to learn from all the different cultures, the different foods, the different sights, the beauty that you do see, along with the tragedy. But it is quite an honor.
I always tell young people, say, look, you get to go places that you never even dreamed of. You're going to get to be able to do things that you never thought was possible. You never thought you could do them. You're going to gain such knowledge, and it's going to change you from the inside out, that you'll be more mature, you'll be more responsible, you'll be a real man, you'll be a real woman. And sometimes they just look at me like I fell out of a wheelbarrow and bumped my head. But it's true. We both served with some characters. I'll just call them characters.
Sure.
People that just wasn't right to start with. I kind of got that way gradually, but there was some people that just wasn't right to start with. But yet, when you're talking about the cultures and the people, I was always amazed of how everyone seemed to square away when they had to be. And I was always impressed by people squaring away when they had to be. And it was almost like, gee, we're professionals. We're good at this. Did you feel like that at times?
Oh, absolutely. You're speaking very true words there, and only from you're speaking from a person who's actually been there and done that as well. And you are the ambassadors, of your country. And yeah, people look at you and you're a reflection of your own country. So yeah, you do square yourself away. You do act proper. And even all the military guys, not just specialized units, but everybody that serves in the military that goes to a foreign country, I see more good being done from guys and women in the military than I do from actual diplomats that go to a country or people in the Peace Corps that go to a country. Not that they don't do good work, but I see more of it from the military aspect. You'll see guys digging into their own wallets or gals digging their own purses, getting money buying soccer balls, baseballs, bats, all kinds of stuff for the local kids at schools, school supplies, things like that. That stuff doesn't make the 5 o'clock news because it's not newsworthy. But that people that are in the military, our men and women of the military, they do a lot of good things that, they're like the unsung heroes, in my opinion, of actually showing what we are as Americans to those people that we're actually helping out and trying to improve upon their lives. So it's a good thing all the way around. It's very positive.
Yeah, and if people want a definition of hero, all they have to do is see our men and women in uniform. That's the definition right there. No words needed, just the picture.
Nope. Absolutely. They do a heck of a lot. And they sacrifice a lot as well.
Before we go any further, let me remind the audience, if you have any questions or comments for Billy, call us, 302-497-3414. That's 302-497-3414 or George.Espenlaub, Espenlaub. Billy, after all these years, I'm finally learning how to spell my last name right. It took me a while, but I'm getting her. Tell us where we can get your book at, my brother.
My book is currently being sold at TwilightTimesBooks.com and Amazon.com. So you can go to either one of those websites and or do a Google search of When the Bullet Hits Your Funny Bone, and that'll automatically come up on the website. For where the books are being sold at. There's quite a few places that it's being sold. I also have a website, Billy Allmon, ALLMON.com, and I got photos there, book reviews, and also places where you can go to buy the book.
So do yourself a favor, ladies and gentlemen. Go there and check out Billy's website. It's neat. Like he said, there's pictures and so on and so forth. Get the book. Sit down, and go on a journey. Billy, with things are moving faster in this world than a speeding bullet anymore. It's not like every now and then there's a news break about this or about that. It's just continual breaking news about this, about that, about Syria, about Benghazi, about all these things that's going on in this old world. I sometimes feel like this world is sitting right atop a great big powder keg, and she's ready to blow. Do you ever feel like that?
Yeah, more and more, and it's a testament to some failed foreign policies, but it's or non-existent foreign policies, and I'm in shock and awe of the lack of involvement by our administration to stifle some of these things, we're not the world police, don't get me wrong, and we shouldn't be. And I'm all for, having been in 3 different wars in my career, I'm all for let's use war as a last resort. And because it's a means to an end. Mm-hmm. That's all war is. When everything else has failed, you go to war, and then it's a means to an end to get what you want done. But that being said, there's so much you can do on the diplomatic stage to make things happen for you, and they're not being done. And I'm in amazement of it. It just blows my mind, because if common people can see what needs to be done, and you have elected officials to work for you on your behalf, to in essence, work for we the people, and they're not doing their job, we need to fire them. When come election time, and get somebody in there that does represent we the people to do the job of we the people.
Right. There's this phrase that came out. I guess it came out about the time the hot spots in Libya started, when the civil war started in Libya.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to lead from behind. Now, if there's anything that'll bend me out of shape and get me wanting to stand on my head and clap my feet, it's a statement like this. Does anyone know? Does anyone know, or could anyone tell me what leading from behind is?
Yeah. I can tell you what the results are, and I'll just say it: Vietnam.
Yes.
Leading from behind.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to give your field commanders, that are there on the front lines in that country, if you don't want to give them the authority to win the war, and that's their job, they know how to do it very well. And American soldiers are by far the best soldiers on the planet Earth. If you don't want them to do their job, then start restricting them. Start, laying down, these are the rules and guidelines that we're going to live by, not the enemy. Mm-hmm. We are going to live by these rules and regulations of combat and war, and we're going to restrict you from doing what the enemy is doing to you. And that's leading from behind. And there's no political correctness in war. It's killing the other guy before he kills you. I mean, it's a numbers game. You wipe them out. It's total, attrition. You wipe out X number of guys, they give up, you win, boom, you've achieved your goal. Wars drag on and on and on because politicians are getting involved from behind, saying, I don't like what they did, like the Marines that urinated on the bad guys,
mm-hmm.
In Afghanistan or Iraq. I would have done the same thing. I don't care. This bad guy. War is ugly. It's not something that you sit down at 5:00 in the afternoon. You're going to have a dinner or whatever. Hey, let's put the war on. Let's see how the guys are doing there. Oh, well, imagine that. They're urinating dead bodies. That is terrible. What a thing that is. I'm complaining to my congressman and my senator because that is disgraceful. They shouldn't act like that. People that have ever been in combat will always think this way, and it blows my mind. It really does. You want to know what real combat is like? It's hell. You are the guy that is right next to you or in front of you or beside you. That is the guy that you love most of all, more than your own brother, mm-hmm. more than your own sister. You love that guy because he's looking out for you. You're looking out for him. You both are going to come out of this alive because of that. It's an ugly, ugly business war. It was never meant to be something that, we can all sit down and turn it on and let's enjoy it. If it was like that, oh my God, we'd be out doing that every day.
Yes.
Sorry, I got off on a tangent, but
no,
it torques my ass too when people say, "Let's lead from behind." No, lead from the front. Lead by example.
When we fought the Second World War, and particularly, we didn't want to get in the war in the first place, and it was blah 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 blah, until December 7th, 1941. Then all of a sudden, our eyes were open, our ears perked up, and we thought, "Oh my God!" And the Japanese was playing for real, so we got into the war. But when we fought the war. As the old saying goes, we broke things and killed people. And when the dust settled and the smoke cleared, the Japanese marched up the gangplank and sat down and surrendered to General MacArthur, and the rest is history. Germany was beaten, they surrendered, and the rest is history. But that's the way it was. We won, you lost. But it's not like that anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't understand it. I really don't. I know that it's wrong because you're right, to use that analogy of World War II, because how long did the war last? almost 5 years at the most, it was over. Now we're doing wars that last 10 years or longer. Why is that? Because we're not going in there with the definitive goal that, we are going in there with a total mindset of victory. We're going to go in, we're going to win this thing, and we're going to get the heck out. Lose as less lives as possible that way instead of dragging it out year after year after year after year. With guys doing 3, 4, 5, 6 tours, a year long each. For crying out loud, you're going to die after a while. You can't keep defeating the odds. Every time you go back, it might be the last time.
It's almost scary the way that we approach these things. I listen and I watch and I read a lot, and I came to this conclusion. And people will probably think I'm a real meatball for saying this, but it seems to me that this president and this administration is purging the military. Have you ever thought about that or have any comments about that?
It seems to me that that's exactly what he's doing. It seems to me that is his goal, is to knock us down as far as numbers. I think there's like 1.5 million active duty around the world right now. I think he wants to knock that down to 500,000. He's fired generals. I've never seen so many generals fired. I've never heard of so many generals fired. I really haven't, even in history. I've never known so many to be fired and relieved of command and things like that, which is tantamount to being fired. When you're relieved of your command, you are in fact fired. But it's just mind-blowing to me that this administration is doing this. In the long run, it's going to weaken us. And if they don't stop what they're doing and really look at the world, how they're perceiving us right now, because of the things that are going on in the world, where they test us. They're like, I look at the world like little kids. They're going to test you as much as possible to see what they can get away with. And as good parents, you let them get away with something to a point because you want them to grow. But when they cross that line, you slap them down, you ground them, you punish them for it, And that, to me, is what the rest of the world is doing to us, mainly these terrorist groups and organizations and stuff like that are testing us, to see how far they can actually push us. And, man, they are pushing us pretty far. It's just incredible to me. I don't want to understand why you hurt my country. I'm going to punish you because you hurt my country.
Right.
And the rest of them are going to see, hey, did you see what they just did? Or did you see what they got away with? So if the Americans would get together and just say, hey, we're not going to put you on trial. We're going to line you up. We're going to either hang you by the neck or we're going to shoot you, one or the other, for what you did. If you want to be a combatant, like some of these terrorists come over here, they look at themselves as freedom fighters, and to me, you're just a combatant. So, yeah, you're subject to the same rules of any war. You're going to be shot or you're going to be hung by the neck. And that's it. There's no trial. There's no life imprisonment. There's no people feeding you 3 times a day and you get to, enjoy yourself in prison for the rest of your life. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it should work, especially when you take an American life. People in the world should know that when you take an American life, there's going to be hell to pay for it. So don't do it. You don't see it happening in Israel. You take a life in Israel, they'll come right after you. So it doesn't happen that often there. They got bombings and stuff that go on there, suicide bombings and stuff, and then they retaliate in kind. Otherwise, if they didn't do anything, there wouldn't be that many Israelis left over there right now.
That's right. Have you ever noticed that when a suicide bomber does his thing in Israel or where Israelis are at, or Israelis are injured or killed some other way, have you ever noticed that Israel goes in and they've got the guys in the air and they got the guys on the ground, but they always take a bulldozer with them? Did you ever notice that?
Oh yeah, they'll flatten that house where you
Yeah,
live.
because wherever you come from, your mama, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, your grandma, your grandpa, anybody that's connected with you, it's house down. And
That's it.
if you resist anything, then you go down. And if we had that kind of mentality, because it works.
Oh, it does. It definitely works.
So who cares what the rest of the
definitely-
world says?
We really shouldn't. We really shouldn't. I don't want to figure out why you're angry. I don't want to figure out why you're, what your ideologies are, that you should be doing these things, so that I can better understand you. Perhaps you don't like me, and maybe I should change the way my life is, so that I can better, serve you or accommodate you and your ideology and thinking so that you don't hurt me. I'm sorry, I'm not submissive like that, and I'm not going to be submissive. And I don't think the great American people should be submissive either to any foreign ruler or foreign entity that's coming after us.
How true, how true. I heard on one of the talk shows this afternoon that the Pentagon has, everybody has experts. Everybody's an expert about something. But they're actually bringing someone in to try to structure how to court-martial our military personnel for spreading their faith or proselyting. So what do we do? Throw the chaplains out the window? This, that. And they're trying to structure this in such a way that each case is reviewed individually, and then they determine the outcome or the punishment for it. Now, this only applies to the Christian boys and girls. So where this is coming from, I mean, we're being influenced from the inside out anyhow, but this is almost scary. And then with some of the other reports that's in the military papers that was in West Point recently, and Christians have been declared put on the terror list, and I mean it's crazy. It's like we're spinning out of control, and nobody can get a hold of the stick and pull us back up.
Well, the problem is with the leadership in Washington D.C. We don't. The bottom line is there's no leader there. A leader, as you well know, finds a way in a crisis to bring the people together for the common good of the people, and a leader, will always, listen to the concerns of the people, because you follow a person, only because you believe in their principles, you believe they have honor, integrity, so you follow them, you choose to follow them. So these people that have chosen to follow you as a leader, you should listen to them, and you should look out for their well-being. You should care for them, and you should find ways that you can, as best as possible, to support what's going on for the majority of the people that are supporting you. And you need to be aware of those things. You should have honor. You should have integrity. You should always tell the people the truth. They should never have any reason at all to distrust you. I mean, for a leader like Obama, for a leader like him, I don't believe what comes out of his mouth because of all the lies that I've heard him actually say. And his administration is so blatant about it now with the lies. They don't even care that that they're lying. It's like, I told a lie, but hey, it's okay. I've got the news media, which is probably the best publicity system that he could probably ever have. Mm-hmm. You would give billions of dollars to have a support system like that of publicity. He's got it automatically, because they just fawn over him, they love him, and so they're not going to report the negative unless it's so blatant, and they're only going to report the positive. And so you got that going. It's a big harm thing for me, to see. It's a harmful thing for me to see, in my heart, that we've got a president that has his own agenda, not the people of the United States agenda, his agenda. We didn't vote for you in office. I didn't vote for him anyway. Mm-hmm. But people didn't vote for you because you had an agenda. They voted for you to support the people's agenda. And I think that really gets lost in a lot of things, especially politicians who go to Washington, D.C.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Billy Allmon with us, who wrote the book. Give me the book, Billy, because I just had a train wreck.
When the bullet hits your funny bone, the essence of a U.S. Navy SEAL.
When the bullet hits your funny bone.
Humorous book.
And we can get that Amazon.
Amazon.com or TwilightTimesBooks.com.
And Billy's website is Billy Allmon, ALLMON.com.
Cool.
In the old days, I'll call it the old days, back in the Second World War and Korea, the SEALs that we know now were underwater demolition men, and they were called frogmen. Is that right?
Yeah, they were swimmer scout raiders and underwater demolition units, which became underwater demolition team, and out of that grew the U.S. Navy SEALs.
And when did the SEALs become the SEALs?
I think it was in 1984. There was SEALs in 1962, and under John F. Kennedy, and there was SEAL Team 1 on the West Coast. SEAL Team 2 was on the East Coast, and then because of the way the world was going and the successes of the SEALs, there was a strong demand for us. They needed more and more SEALs, to meet all the counter-terrorist things and also the unconventional warfare things that were going on in the world, where you could use small specialized units to be very advantageous as far as surgical strikes and doing missions, gathering intelligence and direct action missions, if you will, and things like that. So in 1984, they took all the UDT teams and just changed them overnight to SEAL teams. So they had to do some catch-up training, as far as getting up to speed. Not much, but they had to get up to speed as far as becoming SEALs.
I didn't know this before, but when I was looking at the pictures on your website, when there is a fallen SEAL and they're going to have the burial, I didn't know that you took your tridents off and put it on the casket and pounded the pins in with your fist. I find that very, very fascinating, and it touched my tear cord. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's an emotional time for all of us because there's not that many of us, and we know each other, we know each other's families, and because you serve together, in certain teams. So you know everybody, and if you transfer from one team to another, you get to know more guys, and their families as well. So at the end, after all the ceremony is done and everything, with respect to the families and everything, that they take care of it. Then at the very end, we always ask permission of the family if we as SEALs can give our last respects to our brother, and we've never been denied it, but it's not something that we publicize much. But yeah, we'll walk up to the casket, remove our trident from our chest, lay it on the coffin, and pound it in, and stays there for all eternity. And we salute him again, and it carries on. Everybody that is a SEAL there does that.
I think that is that touched me. I mean, when I saw that just touched me way down deep inside, and rightly so. Rightly so.
Yeah.
How many SEAL teams do we have now?
Let's see. I think it's, I'm not all that sure, but I think it's SEAL Team 1, SEAL Team 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11, and 12, I believe. So I think it's like 10 teams we have, or a little more.
I was listening the other day, and I didn't know this until then, maybe you can verify it, or maybe you know more about it than I do. But when the attack was on the consulate in Benghazi, those fellas, what was the fellow's name? Ty Woods and
Ty Woods and Doherty.
Yes, they weren't close by. From what I heard the other day, they actually commandeered a jet or an airplane and flew in.
No, they were already there on the ground.
They were already there.
Working for the CIA, and their mission at that time was to recover weapons that the Al Qaeda had, and the weapons that they had were the 50 caliber sniping rifles and also some shoulder launched surface to air missiles, the Grails. Is what they were sent there to recover, to get intelligence on and recover. So they were actually working at the annex themselves there at the time, and when the shooting broke out over by where the Ambassador Stevens was, and they heard it, they called it in, and on the radio saying, "Hey, there's firefight commencing over by the ambassador's house." Safe house area, and we want to go over there and we want to assist. And they were told, no, you need to stand down. And so the shooting was still going on. And every time Doherty and Ty Woods saw a terrorist, they would tag them. They actually eliminate them by shooting them. But we call it tagging and bagging. But so they were tagging them, and so they were taking out every terrorist that they saw at that time. This was not a peaceful demonstration. This was not some reaction to some movie. That was the most blatant lie at the time that the administration spewed out. And so they called again. They said, "Hey, look, there's a massive attack going on right now over at the ambassador's house. We're going over there." "No, you're not. You're standing down." These are recorded conversations on the radios, so it's not something that is made up. They're recorded, and people that have this information can pass it on to the committee, Senate Intelligence or Senate Investigation Committees, and they should be able to listen to all of that. So, and my sources are people that were in the area at the time, people that are still on active duty, and I said I won't reveal their names because there is a hunt on for the people that are supposed to be whistleblowers, but and they need to seek legal counsel because for Obama to say he's never heard of anybody that's a whistleblower that's being threatened, well, I'm here to tell you that's a lie as well. And so Obama, you want to come after me, please come on down. Anyway, they just disregarded the message to stand down, and they went over to where the ambassador was. And of course, at that time, the house was pretty much engulfed in fire. And they were shooting a lot of bad guys at this time. They were taking down dozens of them, and so they did a retreat back to the CIA annex. And of course, they got up on top of the roof where they had a heavy weapons up there, and they started taking out more of the terrorists from there. And then the CIA annex came under fire. And Ty Woods was on the radio requesting any military assistance, any assistance from anyone. Please respond. Okay, now, to bring people and your listeners into perspective here, if you are under fire and you're on a tactical radio that's monitored, by a lot of people, and you're requesting assistance, because you're under fire, people know this. This isn't something that, hey, I think they're under fire, but I'm not sure. No, they're under fire. There's no doubt about it. You can hear it in the background, plus, an American asking for assistance and saying that he's under fire, he's taking fire and he needs assistance now, that's something that's pretty critical because you're about to be overrun. And that's the only time you call on the radio, hey, I need assistance and I need it now, because people are taking bullets. So that's how serious the situation was getting at the CIA annex. And so This went on for 4 hours. That's enough time for any aircraft to fly from Spain, from Italy, from Djibouti, or from any adjoining country where we have a lot of people. I won't disclose it on the radio, but we have a lot of people in a lot of nearby countries as well that could have gotten mobilized. And General Ham did mobilize. General Ham mobilized a fast team and another Special Forces, I believe it was Delta Force, but I'm not sure, but was mobilizing them. And the Marine fast team, you can't ask for nothing better than these guys. They know their job as far as rescuing and getting Americans from embassies and consulates out of the country safely. These are the guys you want to have. Nobody better than them. I don't care who's out there in the world. If a fast team's coming in to get you, you're going to get rescued, you're going to get out, probably alive. So that said, Ham had these guys ready to go in, and he's waiting for the President of the United States to authorize it. And only the President of the United States of America can authorize cross-border permission to go into another country, either on a rescue or on a direct action mission. Only the President can authorize this. No one else can do this. No one else can say, he gave me some information to help out, and I kind of hung by. That's not the same thing as getting information to help. It says, when a president says, I want these people out of there, and I want them out of there right now, that is cross-border permission. Go get them. Ham said that. I got teams standing by. I'm waiting on the president to give permission. Teams standing by is this. They're hovering near the border. Planes are in the air already. They're already near the area. They just need permission to go in. Otherwise, it's an act of war if you do go in without permission from the president. So the orders came to stand down. The only people that can tell you to stand down is the President of the United States of America. He's the only one. Nobody else can tell you to stand down. So when when General Ham said, I'm going in anyway, I'm going to rescue these guys, good on him, a true patriot. I'd follow him to the gates of hell and inside as well. He was relieved of command on the spot by his second in command. And he was relieved because he was going to go in. And that's against whose orders? The commander-in-chief. Can't get no higher than that. So when he said no, you're relieved of command. Okay? So all these guys, these 4 Americans, fought to the death, except for Ambassador, but not that he didn't fight, but all these guys were dead. They were murdered. In essence, Hillary Clinton knew that this was not a movie. The president knew this was not a movie. So they're blaming it on a movie. That's bogus as hell. It is bogus. You know, to me, in my personal opinion, they should be charged with second-degree manslaughter, criminal negligence, dereliction of duty. If you want to go back in time, look at President Nixon. What was he impeached over? Authorizing the break-in of the Democratic headquarters.
Yep.
Nobody died. It was a break-in. That's all, in Washington, D.C., and nobody died. Here you got 4 Americans dead, okay, blaming it on a movie, and people are still in office continuing work like, hey, not a big deal, not a big thing at all. And then you would tell the survivors and the parents of those that are killed, we're going to put this guy that made this movie in jail.
Yeah. Because
he's the one that stimulated these attacks. How criminal is that?
And Hillary Clinton said when she, the last time she was on the Hill, in plain words, she was saying, it's over with, get over it.
Yeah, what does it matter anymore?
Yeah, what does it matter?
They're already dead. What does it matter? Well, it matters to the people that, lost people there, and it matters to me because those are my SEAL brothers. And not so much even it's my brothers, those are Americans.
Yes.
What do you mean it doesn't matter? Those are Americans. And it was your ambassador, for crying out loud. That's an act of war. They killed your ambassador. Yeah, I'm beside myself about it. I really am. For the State Department to conduct their own investigation on themselves, It's like the gentleman that said on the radio or on TV the other day. This is why you don't let students grade themselves in high school or college. You know? This is why you don't let people that are charged for a crime let themselves be sentenced by themselves. It's ludicrous. You're not going to find out anything that happened or what really went on or went wrong. If you investigate yourself, you need an outside group to do this. And boy, I hope they have some big cojones, because this goes all the way to the top.
Yeah, and I've been waiting, and then I saw the other night where they had some breaking news, and the fella came forth, and then the lawyer for somebody came forth. I hope and I pray that the lid flies clear off of this thing, and people from the top to wherever it went is prosecuted. I told my wife when this whole thing started, and they come up with the filmmaker. I said, man, that's an insult on what little intelligence I do have left. For to think that we're going to believe something like that. And then for Hillary Clinton to tell the loved ones, well, we're going to prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law.
Yeah.
Evil. I mean, you talk about evil.
You knew you were lying when you told that lie. There's no ambiguity there at all. You knew it. It was a lie. And I don't know. Maybe they lie so much they start to believe it. But it's incredible to me. It really is. This has just been an abomination, and such a wrong thing. It really is. Anybody else that would have done this, at any time, heads would have been rolling big time.
Mm-hmm.
They really would have been. I mean, if George Bush would have been the president and this happened under his watch,
oh my God,
he would have been gone out the freaking door in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Because the news media would have been all over him like pack of dogs, pack of wolves. They would have been all over him, eating him alive.
Well, I really, really hope that these guys that's on the committees go after him like a coon dog that's going after a coon and put him up a tree. I'd love nothing better than to see, and it's like I always said, it's so blatant that Ray Charles could see it, and he's both dead and blind.
So true.
What?
Incredible.
General Ham was relieved, so he's no more. He's on the list of fellows
that's right.
That's out the
General
door.
Petraeus was relieved as well for an alleged affair.
I often wondered about that one too, but
oh yeah, yeah.
I'm not.
General Ham was telling General Petraeus, "Hey, I'm sending my guys in anyway." So they all knew. He was taking his orders right from the president.
I think I counted 14 or 15 of highest ranking men in the military that's been relieved, fired, booted out the door thus far. It might be more than that because it's been a while since I've even looked at it again. But that is so scary.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It is a bad thing. It really is. I can't remember any other time in history where I've seen anything like this. I really can't. Trying to think back, even on books I've read, way back, but I just can't remember any time where I've ever heard about or even read about anything like this. It's just really amazing.
I was trying to think. I don't know of any one time that we ever called for help that we didn't get help. Now, it might have taken, depending on the circumstances you found yourself in, it might have took them a while to get to you, but there was something in the air. There was stuff flying. I mean, when you called for it, you was going to get it. And when they said that the order was given to stand down, I thought, oh my God, I've never heard that before, Billy. I never heard that.
Yeah, to me too. If I was on active duty, I would know I cannot rely on my government. No matter where I'm at, either civilian or active duty, I can't rely on my government because they're pretty wishy-washy. Either they're going to help me or they're not, but I know I can't depend on them because I'm not going to. You depend on the people that you're with. That's it. You don't depend on anybody else.
Wow.
And that's really sad that you have to think like that.
Yeah, it is. And the other thing is that it's been 7 months, 7.5 months, whatever it's been now, and there has been absolutely no retaliation, none whatsoever. And I can't help but remember when Gaddafi was acting stupid and President Reagan gave our jet pilots his name and his address. And down the street they came and they blew things up, they broke things, and they killed some of the closest people to him. And he straightened up after that. He didn't really
threaten us anymore.
Yeah. I mean, he watched what he was saying anyhow, but there's been no action, none whatsoever.
Yeah, I know it really is sad. It really is. So many people want justice on this, and it's just not coming, not from this administration anyway. I just don't see it.
I just hope that the American people wakes up, opens their eyes,
wish it would do.
Perks up their ears, and realizes that these people in Washington are not lords that's above us. Like you said earlier, they work for us.
Exactly.
But until we wake up, these clowns are going to keep on saying these hideous things. I just shake my head and I think, how can you even? Then I shake my head and think, how can people believe this? But then there's people that's so gullible that they don't know.
Some, I guess, want to, but I don't know. I really don't.
I'm perplexed. I am very perplexed about so many things. Ladies and gentlemen, get Billy Allmon, Allman. Get his book. Give me the name of the book again, Billy.
You got it. It's When the Bullet Hits Your Funny Bone, The Essence of a U.S. Navy SEAL. You can get it on TwilightTimesBooks.com or Amazon.com, or you can do any type of a Google search for it and purchase it any place you like. Sometimes it is in some stores at Barnes & Nobles, but if they don't get it, you can ask them. They'll order it for you. And it is a funny book. It is a lot of humor in there. I changed everybody's names except mine and a few places where it happened because paybacks are hell. They'll go on and on. But yeah, absolutely, it is a funny book.
I put all that information up on our show page today. So, ladies and gentlemen, go to the show page, and you can bounce right off of there and go to Billy's page and click on that book, and it'll take you there. And I mean, you won't have no problem finding it and getting it. So, do yourself a favor, Billy. I thank you so much for coming on. And
it's been a true honor.
I listened to the tail end of Carl's show the other day. I can't remember if it was Saturday, Sunday, whatever day it was. And I caught Friday. And I just caught the tail end just as you was coming on. And I thought, man, I got to get up with Billy. So I listened. I gathered up the information and contacted you. And I'm so glad that you took the time to be on with us tonight. My brother.
Like I said, it's been a true honor, and thank you so much for having me on your show.
Thank you, sir. God bless you, and keep on keeping on, Billy.
You do the same, sir.
And please come back
Semper
again.
Fi.
Semper Fi, brother.
You got it. Contact me anytime. You got my email.
All right, bud. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care, brother. Bye-bye.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Retired Navy SEAL. We got to vent. We got to vent some. And I'll be back right after this.
Take you from where you are to where you wanna be. 'Cause radio works. Radio works. We'll take you from where you are to where you wanna be. 'Cause radio works. Radio works.
Yeah, it do. You're listening to the George Espinlove Show, coming to you live from the Funny Farm in a place called Our World. And we just had on as our guest Mr. Billy Allmon, Allmon, retired Navy SEAL. And we thank him for his service. And Billy has written a book, When the Bullet Hits Your Funny Bone, The Essence of a U.S. Navy SEAL. And you can go to billyallmon.com. Billy, Allmon.com. BillyAllman.com. And there you can see the pictures that he has up. There's some excerpts of the book. You can click on the book and you can get the book and all those good things. So go to Billy Allman, ALLMON.com, and do this. Do this. It is one of the most unique books that I've ever seen before. I told Billy before we went on the air, I have never read or heard of a book that was written the way this one is. You've got to get it. And sit down and get a grip, because it's true. It's hard-hitting. It's factual. But when the bullet hits your funny bone, I think you'll be glad that you did. Thank you, Billy, for being with us tonight. Tomorrow night, our friend Brett Broughton, who was a customs agent, he's retired, and worked for Homeland Security. He's going to be back with us tomorrow night. And he has written the book, Homeland Insecurity. And the last time we had Brett here, we talked about some of the things of our Homeland Security and customs and so on and so forth. Much more has happened since Brett has been with us. And tomorrow night, he's going to bring us up to speed. So pass the word. Tell everybody. Friends, Romans, and countrymen. Tell them all. And let them know. Tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Spreaker Network. Tune in to the George Espinlove Show as our guest, Brett Broughton, sits in the chair and takes us on a journey. Incredible, incredible guests, night after night. You just never know what might happen around here. And I want to say this before we go any further. I make no apologies. If you are looking for a show that is politically correct, and of course you that's been hanging with me since we went on the air, you already know that by now. But I need to tell folks, if you're looking for a show that is politically correct, this isn't it. I'll be kind, I'll be considerate, but I'm sorry, I just won't be politically correct. That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? And, well, that's just the way it is. I can't, I'm just saying, you understand? Here's something goofy, just like me.
Well, it's hard living, hard luck, hard getting back on the truck. 3 days home and I'm back on the road. And it's hard giving a flying fuck, get driving, stay driven, get stoned, get drunk, get home to find your baby's little note. She wrote, I got married, I moved to Tennessee with a looker who can cook and a drawl, and he's all mad about me. Well, don't worry, babe, I'll still sing your songs about all them women who done you wrong, and I hope I have been the least bit inspiring. Well, it's hard living, hard luck, hard getting back on the truck. 3 days home and I'm back on the road. Well, it's hard giving a flying fuck, get drive, stay driven, stay stoned, get drunk, get home to find your baby's little note. Page 2. Well, I know you said you'd wait for me, but it's been weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and a woman like me's got needs. Yeah, so I went on a couple dates. When he asked, I didn't hesitate, 'cause a man like you's got needs in every state. Oh my goodness. Well, it's hard living, hard luck, hard getting back on the truck. 3 days home and I'm back on the road. But it's hard giving a flying fuck, get driving, stay driven, stay stoned, stay drunk, get home to find your baby's little note. I'm gonna get my way. I'm gonna see for real everything that I've dreamed. And it's all happening. Yeah, it's all happening. With or without you, babe. Hard living, hard luck, hard getting back on the truck. 3 days home, I'm back on the road. Well, it's hard giving a flying fuck, get driving, stay driven, get stoned, get drunk, get home to find your baby's little note. Well, it's hard living, hard luck, hard getting back on the truck. 3 days home and I'm back on the road. Well, it's hard giving a flying fuck, get driving, stay driven, stay stoned, stay drunk, get home to find your baby's little note. Well, it's hard living, hard luck, hard getting back on the truck. 3 days home and I'm back on the road. Well, it's hard giving a flying fuck, get driving, stay driven, get stoned, stay drunk, get home to find your baby's little note. Yeah, baby's gone and I'm back on the road.
Open up your window inside. Make me wanna have one around. Been bankrupt of my luck for some time. I need somewhere clean to throw my bones down. Don't need to make you love me, just shine down. Don't wanna make you trust me, just shine down. Never have to say sorry, just shine down. Let these cold times melt through the ground. Let these cold times melt through the ground. You're not too young to swallow some pain. I know this from the lines on your hands. You're a detour in a lost memory. My reason to forget perfect plans. You need to make you love me, just shine down. Don't wanna make you trust me, just shine down. Never have to say sorry, just shine down. And let these cold times melt through the ground. Let these cold times melt through the ground. If you didn't want my heart, that's alright. Been lost in the middle for some time. The coldest season I've ever known. You still make like you're some window sunshine. Don't need to make you love me, just shine down. Don't wanna make you trust me, just shine down. Never have to say sorry, just shine down. And let these cold times melt through the ground. Let these cold times melt through the ground. Let these cold times melt through the ground. Let these cold times melt through the ground.
And one more time, our thanks to Billy Allmon, retired Navy SEAL, who has written the book, When the Bullet Hits Your Funny Bone, the essence of a U.S. Navy SEAL. Excuse me. Go to BillyAllmon.com, Billy, ALLMON.com. Hey, listen, we want you to email us. We've received some really neat emails, and we're gonna take the time one of these evenings to read about it, if I can remember it. And you know me, Sometimes I can't even remember what I'm supposed to remember because I forgot what I was supposed to remember, and the only thing that I can remember is that I forgot. And no, I can't say that again exactly the way I said it the first time. But some night we're going to read those emails to you. So we want you to email. Maybe we'll read one of yours. George C.E., that's George C.E. at Comcast.net. George C.E. at Comcast.net. Don't be afraid. We answer each and every email that comes to us, and we answer them quickly. So you send it to us, and we'll send you one right back. How about that? Follow us on Twitter at PopPopX7. That's PopPopX7. I have no clue where I'm going, but you're welcome to follow me. We'll go someplace, and we'll do something, even if it's wrong. Follow me. It might be fun at PopPopX7. Go to our Facebook page. Look us up. You want to become friends? Just ask. No problem. We're easy. And go to our blog, theespenblog.com. That's the Espenblog, ESPENBLOG.com. And there you can bounce over to our show page and go to Facebook. You can look up the Espenblog show page there. We're getting to be like Chicken Man. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. Again, I want to say thank you to all of you that have been supporting us. You've been so kind with your words and your emails, and we appreciate it so very, very much. My mom is going to be making her appearance on the show again in the near future, and as soon as she gives me permission to tell you when she's coming on board, I will relay it to you. Rest assured. But I can't tell you until she tells me. Because if I tell you now, and she didn't give me permission to tell you, oh boy, I am in deep trouble. And she will beat me severely about the head and shoulders. And she'll do something bad to my brain housing group, like it hasn't already been done. You know what I'm saying? And remember, my mom still has the fastest hands in town. And yep, I'm scared. I'm scared of my mom. Black Magic Blues by Jay Parma and Mark Clarendon. Well, Charlie over there waving his hat at me. I see you, Charlie. Sometimes I only see something move out of the corner of my eye because I got my mind on something else, or I'm looking at something else, and then Charlie, he's over there pushing buttons and moving sliders up and down, got his hat on backwards, and so he's doing his thing and I'm doing my thing, which my thing isn't too much, but then he'll try to get my attention. Well, I just think he's still doing his thing, so I don't pay attention. But then he needs to get my attention, so he'll take his hat off and he'll be waving it up in the air, and I'll see this shadow on the wall, this hand moving up and down with the hat, and I'll look over and there he is, and then then he's trying to give me sign language, like. Well, you can't see me because I'm on the radio. But anyhow, he's trying to give me some kind of sign language, like I'm supposed to know what he wants. And every time I try to guess what it is, I'll lean back, I'll lean over, but it's still, I got the headphones on. I'll take them off, and and he's got headphones on. He'll take them off, but he won't talk to me. He'll just keep doing that sign language stuff. And the mics are turned off. I don't know why he don't just say what he wants to say, but he just keeps doing that. And every time he gives me that sign language stuff, I always get it wrong. I always get it wrong. Until he, he's got these earphones. It's got this long slinky cord. And so I'll be leaning out of my seat, and finally he'll step off the box with his headphones in his hand, and he'll walk over to me, with his slinky thingy, and he'll finally lean over and whisper in my ear and tell me what he wanted. After all that, and I tell him all the time, Charlie, you don't have to give me this sign language stuff because I don't know what you're talking about anyhow, and I never get it right. The mics are turned off when the music's playing. Why don't you just take your headphones off, lay them down, walk over and tap me on the shoulder, and I'll take my headphones off, and you tell me what you want to tell me. Then I'll know what you told me. We'll both know what was said, and then I can do what you told me to do, and you'll be happy, and I'll be happy. Does that make any sense? I guess it does. I don't know, but what are you cheering for? What are they cheering for, Charlie? Oh, no, I'm not going to say that. Anyhow, I thought I'd just run that by you. I'm lip dripping, you know what I'm saying? What I was beginning to say a long time ago when I went off on that, whatever that was, no, I'm not doing it. What I was going to say, whenever I was going to say it, before I went off on what I was telling you, when I was telling you, how Charlie wanted me to tell you, was that I see the caboose coming. The train's been rolling along all evening, and finally I see the caboose coming. And so that means that it's almost time to jump on the caboose. On the caboose? Yeah, on the caboose. We'll jump on the caboose and we'll ride it on out of here. But I wanted to tell you, I wanted to thank you for hanging in there with me again tonight. And I want you to come back again tomorrow night, when we will have Brett Broughton, who retired from U.S. Customs and Homeland Security. And he will bring us some grave information tomorrow night. So pass the word. Our call-in number is 302-497-3414. 302-497-3414. My mind is just working overtime, and I can't think and talk at the same time. But I got enough sense to know when the caboose comes, it's time to jump on it. So, thanks to Billy Allmon for being with us tonight. Thank you for being with us tonight. I hope that you come back again tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on Spreaker.com, and you can tune in for another George Espinlaub show live from the Funny Farm in a place called Our World. Now remember, there's a whole lot of love that comes to you from the Funny Farm. We're not kidding about that. There's a lot of times that we're strange. There's a lot of times that we just can't get it right. There's a lot of times that we're just plain downright goofy. But then again, what you see is what you get. There's no pretend around here. We just says it like it is, you know what I'm saying? But until tomorrow night, same time, same station, you tune in, be with us. This is George Espinlaub telling you, be careful, stay safe, don't take no wooden nickels. God bless you real good, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.